Grest here. So I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a recap of my visit to SHOT Show in Las Vegas 2025. And this is from the standpoint of a first-timer heading out to SHOT Show. Was it worth it in the end? So watch the video and I will give you my final thoughts towards the end of the video. So before we get started though, please like, share, and subscribe. And leave a comment, please. Okay, so for this trip to SHOT Show, for my first trip, I went under my own accord, under my CG Shots Media, which is kind of my branding for my photography and stuff like that. And, you know, it took me quite a few years actually to get the approval as media, so I was super excited to finally get my first shot at SHOT Show. And, of course, I had to fly out from here in North Carolina with a layover, all that fun stuff. And as soon as you arrive there, you can, of course, pick up your credentialing, which I did there in the airport. One of the things I noticed right off the bat in Las Vegas is that they are super in tune with what's going on with SHOT Show and how to accommodate people coming there for their first time. So that was very convenient. You could have picked up your SHOT Show credentials in a variety of locations. Now, the SHOT Show itself is held in the Venetian and Caesar Palace. However, it starts on Tuesday. So I arrived on Sunday evening pretty late. And on Monday, there was a variety of range days. One of the range days that I wanted to attend was the industry range day, and that one is by invitation only. So I reached out to my folks at Brownells and they kind of hooked me up with getting my invitation to that particular event. Now, the other range day that I attended on Monday was the Prairie Fire range day. Now, this is put on by the folks at Staccato, and I was able to hit that range in the first half of the day and the industry range day on the latter half of the day. So at the Prairie Fire range day, I was actually able to shoot my very first Staccato. One of the guys that's local to me here in North Carolina, Nub Gunner, Anson Roberts, he was there kind of working the range and stuff, so it was pretty cool to kind of meet up with him for at least a few minutes. I know he was working and stuff, and you know, shoot my first Staccato. And I gotta say, it's a very smooth shooting pistol. I hope to own one of those at some point in my collection.
Okay. Because I even have problems with it where it'll pop up.
Yeah, so. I have issues even with slide releases on a lot of pistols because I just get them away.
Yeah, so they've actually moved the slide release back on this one.
Okay.
More in line with like the gloves and the safes and everything, so it's right there for your.
Yep, I gotta get me a Staccato. And I like the grip on it, like it fits my hand right. You know what I mean?
No, yeah. Glad you made it out.
Yeah, it does. It was a long trip out.
Oh, I told you it was like an hour and a half.
I've been up since time before 6.
Oh yeah. I was at 4.
But also at the Prairie Fire range day, they had other manufacturers such as Walther, CZ, Colt, Lancer, Archon.
It took me 3 shots.
Off, you can set it to your preferences. I will show you how the selector works. So this is safe, this is semi, one in trigger guard.
Okay.
It's the same all over as on brand 2.
Okay. Nice.
I got some beer too at the Staccato. Yeah.
Very nice.
For the whole carrier group in the buffer. Yeah. So having that mass there really allows that to smooth out that whole scene.
That works. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
So this is the 762.
So I tried to shoot what I could with the time I had allotted. So the range days are about an hour apart from Las Vegas. So in order to hit both of them, I spent maybe a couple hours there at the Prairie Fire Range Day and then had to come back to Las Vegas on a shuttle bus that they provided and then head over to the Industry Range Day. Now over the Industry Range Day, I was able to actually meet with Elastic Ballistics. Never met him in person, so it's pretty cool. He was there with his wife and got to shoot the Live Free Armory Apollo pistol, which is a double stack 1911 style pistol. One of the companies that really impressed me at the Industry Range Day was the folks from Culper Precision. So they had a very cool line of AR style rifles that they fine-tuned the gas systems for specific suppressors, and I shot a couple of their particular rifles and they were so smooth shooting, soft shooting, and easy to get on target, very easy to get follow-up shots. So very impressed with them. I hope to do some work with them in the future.
Did my pin break?
It is 4.7.
Bring it in the 21st century. Machine gun mower, modular 4E.
Compramos una vaina que de una vez lo mejor es
One of the awesome things about SHOT Show in general, at least for me, was meeting folks that I had either not seen in a while or only run into at particular events, as well as folks that I had never met in person. So I knew it was going to be a good show when I walked in. Of course, I stopped at Brownells, and the first person that I saw was Roy Hill walking down the aisle there. So Roy I've known for a long time, and yeah, we've of course been around each other in person numerous occasions, but it was just really cool to see him as one of the first people walking into the show on that day. Of course, I stopped by my friends over at Brownells. I did spend a good bit of time over at the Geisley booth.
That thing's pretty awesome looking.
It's a shooter. We shot it yesterday at the range all day yesterday, suppressed. It's quite a cartridge. Federal's pretty proud of that new release at your backcountry, and it does not disappoint.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a good one, that's for sure. So it's kind of cool to see y'all get into the
They were doing their annual SHOT Show Plinko game, which they give away a bunch of prizes and stuff. I actually got a chance to say hi to Mr. Bill Geisley and get a quick photo with him. So these folks that own these companies, of course, are super, super busy with kind of making deals and doing media interviews and stuff like that. So it's always cool when they set aside just a couple seconds to get a photo with you. Now, part of my goal, other than meeting a bunch of folks at companies, was to actually, you know, again, meet folks that I had never met before. I actually, one of my goals was to actually meet in person Lena Mikulek. So that's Jerry Mikulek's daughter. I actually wanted to meet Jerry as well. And so my wife had sent me a itinerary of Lena's, and it just so happened she was a couple booths down from where I was at the time. So if you've never been to SHOT Show before, it is super massive. So just to give you a little bit of an idea of how much walking I actually did, I walked about 30 miles in a span of maybe 2.25 days. So I actually only attended the show for 2 full days, and then the last day that I flew out, I was able to spend a couple hours in the morning, but then I had to leave to catch my flight. So I've always noticed that a lot of people that are attending SHOT Show from the media standpoint, like I was, they tend to do a lot of booth interviews and kind of interviewing companies, stuff like that. And because it was my first time, I wanted to focus more on trying to get some content of particular firearms and products and optics and stuff like that. So I was solo, so it was a little hard to do interviews with folks. Now, Drop It Like It's Scott. So if you guys aren't aware of him, definitely go follow him. He was kind of helping me along with my first trip to SHOT Show, so it was really cool to hang out with him quite a bit during my trip out there to Las Vegas for SHOT. And he kind of had a pretty cool thing with a tripod and a DJI kind of camera thing that would track and do stuff. So he was solo, and he definitely had the setup for that, but I did not. So I focused primarily on, like I said, just meeting people, maybe snapping a photo. But as far as video stuff, video work, I was trying to video the products and just kind of come up with some short content and just get some ideas of maybe some companies that maybe I would like to try to do some work with in the future. So a couple of those companies, one in particular, Caracal, they had some really nice rifles there, and as well as pistols. So I did spend a good bit of time there speaking with one of the reps there. So I hope to do some work with them in the future. So I did take a good look at some of the optics manufacturers, like Ride-On. So I've used their optics in the past, and they have some new ones out that I'd like to maybe give a whirl here in the future. Also Loophole, and I did take a look at Trijicon. There was also some knife manufacturers there, such as Benchmade and Spyderco. I did swing through the Spyderco booth. I'm a huge Spyderco fan, and they had almost every model you could imagine on display there. So that was really cool to see so many Spyderco knives at one place like that. Now, one of the smaller manufacturers that I ran into was the name of Giotto Arms. They're based in New York, and they make custom USA-made 1911s, high quality, but not with a super high price. So I won't discuss the price here, but if you think of what a Springfield Prodigy costs, these are on par with the pricing of those. However, they're not MIM parts. They're all made here in the U.S., and they're made by a relatively small company. So a couple of the guys there that were representing Giotto, super nice fellows, and was very happy to see their stuff. They had a gold-plated 1911 that was super cool. It was in a box with windows and stuff, and yeah, it's a really nice job with those guys. So of course I had to stop by the folks over at Gideon Optics and see what they had to offer. One of the things that they had that's new coming out here is a RMSC style red dot with a circle dot style reticle in both green and red, and I was super impressed with that. That's perfect. It's also enclosed, so that's a perfect carry or EDC style optic. So really looking forward to getting my hands on that thing once it gets released. So it's they had like a prototype version there, and then they had basically a pre-production version. So those should be coming out here really soon. But those guys are always cool to hang out with and talk to a little bit. So I was actually walking through the show and I had a guy that pulled me aside and say, "Hey, you're from such and such North Carolina." And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Oh, yeah, we're, I know exactly where that is. And I'm from a small town in North Carolina and nobody knows where I live." So it was kind of interesting for him to recognize that on my badge. But this particular guy, he was selling like some self-security type items other than firearms. So it had like some pepper blasters. He had actually a stun gun that was in an umbrella, which was I thought was pretty slick, and also some of these uh, kind of pistol things that shoot out different types of balls or pellets to kind of a alternative to a firearm, so non-lethal defense type stuff. So that was really cool to chat with him for a good bit as well. The other companies that I kind of swung by and looked at was folks like Sig Sauer. I did stop by the EAA booth. They had some new double stack 1911s. Seems like double stack 1911s are all the rage now. Everybody's putting one out. Also, SDS Arms. I did stop by there for a few minutes as well. And yeah, it was just a really cool experience. So much in one place. That it was quite overwhelming. In the evenings, they did provide some additional entertainment. So there were some happy hours, so to speak, after the show that SHOT Show put on. There was even one night a concert that had a few folks. So it was Uncle Cracker, and I know Rascal Flatts, the lead singer from Rascal Flatts. So that was really cool to see them actually put some entertainment. They put a lot of thought and effort and money into this. I mean, I know they're trying to attract worldwide audience, worldwide companies and industries to come here to kind of share and make deals and show their stuff. So really, really cool. Just kind of seeing the amount of effort put into the show, and it was just super impressive and super cool to see this. So a few of the other folks that I actually ran into at the show, Mike Savage from Lynx Defense. So he's actually local to me as well. You guys have seen me talk about his rifle and pistol bag. So we had a good long talk, and it was really nice to see Mike. I hadn't seen him actually in a few years, even though he's relatively close. But we have some stuff maybe that we might be doing together here in the future. So that was pretty cool. Being a local company. I also stopped at Stroop Knives. They're also a local company. I've never done anything with them. I do have one of their knives, and I think very highly of them. But they are local here in North Carolina, so I did talk to Mr. Stroop while I was there, and just kind of, he offered maybe to come down to do maybe a tour or look around the facility. So that's also awesome. Anytime I can support a local North Carolina business, not to take away from other companies around the country or around the world, but small local companies, it's always cool to support those guys. So over at the Brownells booth, I did get to meet Tactical Considerations, Guns and Gadgets, Armed Scholar. Of course, I saw Caleb and Cody Hinton and all those folks. Got to speak with Pete Brownell for a few moments as well, and of course they were having their own happy hour the one afternoon, so that was pretty cool there. Cody and some of the other folks were walking around and kind of trying to call folks into the booth to get their free beer, so that was a really, really fun time to do that. Some of the other folks that I ran into or wanted to run into on the final day, Chris from the 740, he showed up late or on Wednesday, and unfortunately I wasn't able to meet up with him Wednesday evening. I was kind of feeling a little under the weather with some sinusitis stuff, but on Thursday I wanted to run into him before heading home. So I happened to stop by the Gideon booth, and guess where he was? He was over there talking to the folks at Gideon. So that was pretty cool. And also Bald and Curious and RTT Guns and Gear. So those three guys all one spot at the same time. Was awesome to meet them. I also ran into Gizzard Gary Decker. And I'm sure there's some other folks I'm not thinking of at this point. The Real Shooter Sean from Pew Pew Tactical, I ran into him. I think overall, the biggest thing that was pretty cool was just getting to meet so many people that I had yet to meet in person. And you know, I feel like I know these folks because we've been talking and chatting and stuff for years online, you know, with the YouTubes and Instagram and all that, and all the social media. And to finally just meet these folks in person was just such a great blessing to me. You know, to kind of shake their hand and give them a hug or whatever the case may be. And you know, that was for me the icing on the cake for the entire event for sure. Alrighty, folks, so the big question is, from a first timer's perspective, was SHOT Show worth it? My opinion, absolutely. If you have the opportunity to go to SHOT Show, to meet folks, meet companies, look at new products, catch up with folks that you've known for years, it's a big package experience. Yes, it is a little bit on the pricey side to head out to Vegas, to stay in hotels out there at the Strip, food, beverages, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's absolutely worth the trip if you're able to make it. So for me, going for my first time as media, I'm already looking towards going next year. So my plan is to be there next year. And you know, take the things that I learned and experienced this year and kind of prepare for next year a little bit better. So anyways, that's my SHOT Show 2025 experience. What questions do you guys have? Please put those down below. What are your thoughts on SHOT Show in general? Would you go if you had the opportunity to do so? And if you're looking to support the channel, the best way to support the channel is to head over to my website. And if you use any of my affiliate links or codes, it definitely helps out the channel tremendously. So always appreciated anytime y'all can use those affiliate links. And of course, huge shout out to the biggest sponsor of the channel, and that is Brownell. So always appreciate what those folks do for me and for the channel and for the community. So much love for those folks. And definitely head over there and tell them I sent you. So, all right, that about wraps it up. SHOT Show 2025. I appreciate everybody watching and subscribing, and I will catch y'all in the next video. Y'all take it easy.